Hi, and welcome to the episode where we talk about Phase 4 without really knowing any fucking shit about Phase 4
In
in
5D.
5D.
Yeah, yeah.
I decided to just come out and say because I knew we were going to talk about it, and I also realized that we know very little about most of this stuff. So I have a graphic up for Phase 4. I know you and I have both seen WandaVision. I know you've seen most, if not all, of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Is that accurate?
I finished Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I've seen none of it.
Perfect.
Yeah, and mostly because I kind of didn't like either. Well, I I didn't like one of the characters, and I was neutral on the other one.
Do you like the Captain America movies?
I like yes, I like
You like that? This is actually the corner of Marvel. Me and my wife are rewatching all of the Marvel movies in release order right
hmm
now. Um, and so far, yeah, the Captain America movies are our least favorite, just because for us, and like this isn't new. I've reviewed them this way before. They just sort of feel like the action war movie side of the Marvel universe.
okay.
Even in the modern day ones, they tend to be the most gun shooty, like action set piece, get to cover kind of stuff. And Falcon Winter Soldier definitely falls into that corner. It's an action show. Like you could honestly replace Falcon Winter Soldier with Riggs and Murtaugh or Turner and Hooch. Yes, a dog would work just fine with one of like. It's just an action buddy cop show. It's good for that.
Yeah.
That's just not my favorite thing, but the last episode is super dope. I did really, really like the ending was great. They
Okay.
landed the ship. So
Okay. Fair enough.
I,
Where
I
I
do still wish same thing about WandaVision. I wish there was a bigger
payoff.
something.
Yeah.
Like hit these shows with some shit that makes me go, damn, now I gotta see that movie. But it hasn't done that
So
yet.
so Falcon and Winter Soldier. Do you know what it leads into, or would tell me that ruin the whole thing?
They already made an announcement. Captain America 4 is happening.
Okay. Fair enough.
But
Is
the
that Phase 5 or is it still Phase 4?
I don't know that they've said. I'm guessing it's 5
Yeah.
because after they made the announcement, they let Sam and Sebastian know after they made the announcement. They got calls to fly out to LA for a meeting post that movie getting announced.
That's funny. And so here's the interesting bit. I think this graphic might be a little old because I don't know that Miss Marvel is named Miss Marvel anymore. I think it's called The Marvels.
So this is old. I can make the corrections to this if you would like.
So okay, before we jump into that, so they just released new footage, which is why we're talking about this. They did
Yes.
a
Let me
whole
see if I can
thing.
find you a better graphic.
Yes, please. They did a whole thing where they had Stan Lee or someone that sounds close enough to Stan Lee say a whole thing. I'm not going to repeat it here, but check it out. It was very much we invite you in for Phase 4. Here's what's coming. A lot of the movies are
Here.
2022
I got you. Hold on, I'm gonna get you a link address right now.
for cheesy.
There you go. That's what you want to use. That's the updated version. And so for anybody wondering, yeah, if you're used to this graphic and you're like, yeah, that's it. Nothing on here is canceled. Don't worry. But this is as of today, today being day of recording, there's just sort of a new release lineup that is updated, but nothing on here is flat out dead.
Okay, cool. Let me see here. Okay, there we go. That graphic does look better. Let's load that up into our fancy streaming. Sorry for the folks that
Do
are
do do magic
listening.
is happening. We're
Yeah.
doing computer stuff. Computer stuff. Woo! I really feel like you should have had it done in that amount
Oh,
of.
so let me complain a little bit about technology because I'm an idiot, and this one it's just me
There we
not trying
go.
to spend money.
So now,
My mouse is clicking twice, so it's really hard to drag things at the moment.
sweet.
Okay, so saw
Oh,
WandaVision.
even this.
Is it still a little?
This is still a little bit. Just dates are moved, but this
Okay,
looks like the correct lineup of things.
Except
but I am now
missing
realizing the
some
dates are
things.
moved. Is it missing?
Yes, it's missing. Unless I'm not seeing it, it is in fact missing Volume 3, Guardians of the Galaxy. It's
Oh, you're
missing
correct. You're correct. Okay, hold on.
The Marvels.
I'm back on the hunt.
Okay, so they released some footage. I'll keep talking about that
Yeah.
while a graphic is pulled up. They released some footage and they talked about Wakanda Forever, which doesn't appear to be on here either.
Is that on this one? I'm glad you said that.
Yep.
Because I just brought one up and I was about to send it to you. No, that still just says
kind of crazy.
Panther 2. Is there no new graphic for this?
Have they not, those bastards? But no, so they've announced a couple of things. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. There was a little bit of footage on the Eternals, and I wanted to talk about it, but briefly, because neither of us really know shit about the Eternals. Is Angelina Jolie in the Eternals? Is that who I saw?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
No, that was announced forever ago. The last Comic-Con that actually happened, she was there for this movie.
Okay, fair enough.
Same with like Kumail Nanjiani. You watch Silicon Valley, Dinesh?
Yeah.
Dinesh
I
is
knew
jacked
that one.
and he's in this.
I knew that one.
The guy who played Robb Stark from actually I think it's both Robb Stark and Jon Snow from Game of Thrones are both in this.
Okay, that's kind of funny. I'm laughing because he's jacked. Good for him.
Dude, he's fucking yoked. He's like that dude. He did the full Chris Pratt thing where he was like kind of chunky in Parks and Rec, and then all of a sudden he was like jacked.
Yeah.
Kumail Nanjiani has done that. It is incredible.
Hey,
whatever
man.
whatever the personal trainer that the Disney Corporation hires for this shit, that dude does good work. I don't know that those dudes are healthy.
So,
their hearts could shit out at any second, but they look good.
Okay, so I guess the secret to losing weight is to get a movie deal.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just go over here. Here's the ones, and this actually, what I'm going to read has some extras. So I'm going to just specifically note any of the ones that were not part of the trailer that was shown today, or the reel, the whatever you want to call it.
Okay, perfect.
Teaser. Okay, so we got Black Widow. That's been pushed back a couple of times now.
But I believe it's still coming out this year.
It is still coming out this year.
Okay.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. That's coming out also this year.
Correct.
And then Eternals. Sorry, two more for this year. Eternals coming out after that.
Yes.
And then Spider-Man No Way Home also this year.
Okay. I am on board with you so far.
For the TV side, coming out this year for sure, the Loki TV show and the What If TV show, Disney Plus show. Sorry, I shouldn't say TV show. The Disney Plus series.
Okay.
Loki, What If, those will be out. Okay?
All right. Also, this year, as far as I know, unless it's changed, Miss Marvel is coming out this year. And so is Hawkeye.
I know it. So Hawkeye just finished filming. I wasn't sure if it was going to be out for sure because that wasn't on the reel.
Yeah, it was.
Was Hawkeye on the reel?
Yes, I believe it was.
Okay, I might have missed Hawkeye, but Miss Marvel, the show, did not have its own.
So Hawkeye's also going to be a show.
Yes, those are both Disney Plus shows.
Yep.
From what I saw, basically two things got new titles in this reel. So coming out next year, 2022, you got Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. You got Thor: Love and Thunder. You've got Black Panther 2, which is now called Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Correct.
And then you've got Captain Marvel 2, which is now called The Marvels.
Okay.
Which, if you look, the S that they've stylized Marvels with is the Miss Marvel S. So I'm going to assume that the Miss Marvel TV show will either be late this year or early next year to then lead into Captain Marvel 2.
Okay. So I'm following you so far.
Because I did not see the Miss Marvel logo on that reel that they showed. And that really seemed to focus for the TV shows on this year. Because there's also, there's a couple more that might come out next year that we don't know.
Fair enough. They also added a tagline to Ant-Man and the Wasp.
That's had a tagline.
Oh, had it?
Yes.
Has it been Quantum Mania for a while?
Quantum Mania, yes.
Okay.
We also got the tag for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I think they're just going to stick with that. Volume
Yeah, I mean
3.
that's not really a tagline. That's just a sequel.
Yeah,
at that point.
that's just what they're
Fair
calling
enough.
them. And then 4.
Yep.
It's about golf. No, so finally, and this has been announced. They're going to finally be doing a Fantastic Four movie that's going to be in universe, no casting, no information. Really, we only got the title card.
Okay. Also, and this is I don't know if it's considered rumored. I just think they haven't announced it 100%. Is they're redoing Blade as a movie? It looks
It
like.
is 100% announced. It's
Okay,
already
so-
cast. I had heard show, but yes, it's looking like movie.
That's what I was unsure of because I had heard show, but now that they did a movie, I didn't realize if it was official.
Yeah, so it looks like they're gonna do a Blade movie, but that was also not in this reel.
No, that was definitely not in this reel.
Also not in this reel. And it looks like most of these were at least originally slated for 2022, but remember, COVID fucked a lot of shit up, so don't be surprised if some of these slid.
True.
But She-Hulk all of these are also Disney Plus shows. None of these are movies.
Okay.
So She-Hulk,
Yep.
Moon Knight,
Yep.
Secret Invasion,
Correct.
Ironheart, Armor Wars, I Am Groot, and the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which I actually think, because he's done writing it, and I think I heard that was actually going to start shooting. They might be rushing that up to this year, but maybe it isn't going to happen until next year.
It was scheduled for 2022, but I'm not sure. So now that we have more of a comprehensive list that we've talked about, what are you excited about?
We talked about Shang-Chi already.
We did.
And it's not that I'm not excited. Honestly, I think it's going to end up being like one of those Captain America things. It's going to be this corner of the Marvel universe that I'm just less interested in.
Okay.
Like, I'm just not a huge Kung Fu guy anyways. And kind of just being like, oh, all the Asian people get to be in the Kung Fu one, honestly feels less progressive than they're trying to make it seem of like, we're finally giving the Asian people the Kung Fu movies.
Yeah, it does feel a little, I'm sorry to say this word because I know people hate it, but it sounds pandery.
It feels off for sure.
Yeah.
But again, and just like Captain America, it's not my favorite one, but it's also not like a bad movie. I wouldn't give like Captain America 2 out of 10 or something.
Oh, no.
It's just not my favorite of the Marvel ones.
To be fair, though, I still say
corner.
that the first Avenger, for what it was, which was basically a period piece, like that first Captain America holds up.
It's actually the most recent one I just watched, and boy was I bored.
But do you probably don't like things like Saving Private Ryan or any of those, right?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I just wanted I wanted to get a good gauge whether it was just the genre that you're super not into, or if it was something else, right?
Shang-Chi, I think, might just maybe I'll be blown away. I'm gonna watch it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always optimistic for Marvel movies because like before Guardians of the Galaxy came out, I was like, yeah, it's a bunch of characters nobody gave a shit about. It'll be a weird movie.
I had never heard of them.
And it was fantastic. Maybe Shang-Chi gonna blow my mind, but for now, I'm coming into optimistic. I don't think I'm gonna love it. And actually, same for Eternals. It's another corner that A, I'm just not familiar with, and B, I don't really care about. So Eternals is gonna have to be pretty cool for me to like really get on board with Eternals.
So here's my worry about Eternals, though. It's the same problem that I had with DC introducing Darkseid. You're changing the game. You are now introducing a character that in the comics was almost godlike. And while I understand how... Because the problem is that if you bring Darkseid, you have to bring in Apocalypse. And it's not just like that. Bringing in Thanos is the main bad guy for a thing. Like, Thanos was the singular baddie that you can all rally against. But Darkseid, there's a whole planet of them. You know what I mean? Like... the
new gods,
the new gods, and all that. Like,
yeah.
So that's my problem with the Eternals because
I would agree with you if the Inhumans didn't already exist.
But the Inhumans were never at that level of power.
They are with the heroes and the mutants, which they're trying to introduce desperately, I think.
And I don't mind.
I think Eternals only work because they already like Inhumans. They already relegated to a TV show, but it's in canon.
Yeah, that's true.
So we've already had them, and they were already downplayed a whole bunch. I think it's going to be the same thing. The Eternals are just another, or even like Thor and those that pantheon of gods. They're at this point, the Marvel universe treats all aliens of about an equal power level, stronger than your average human. But Captain Marvel, Hulk, all these guys can stand up to that. The Guardians, even Drax.
Well, I mean,
they
technically,
they all work on that level.
I understand why like Captain Marvel could stand up to them, how they did it in the movies. So maybe I'll be eating my words when they explain them. But if I recall correctly, I don't know much about the Eternals. Full disclosure, I never read the comic, and just generally, I know them because I've read synopsis here and there because they tied into other comics. It was one of those things where like I read a Marvel comic book and I went, who the fuck are these people? So I looked them up on Wikipedia. But if I remember correctly, just from the synopsis, they are on another level. They are almost like I'm trying to compare them because they're stronger than the Lanterns. I know it's a different thing. But are they?
So here's what you're missing and forgetting, though. They already took on Ego.
That's true.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2, we already went to a being as strong as Galactus, essentially.
Yeah, that's true.
And we've already matched that power. Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet. It took a lot, but we had it. And again, like your Draxes, your Hulks, your Captain Marvels, your repowered Thor after traveling space for a little bit. Plus probably some nerfing of the Eternals, because just like they did with the Inhumans, it all has to fit to this scale. I don't imagine they're gonna run crazy with it. I really don't.
But I mean, fair enough. But we didn't think that they were gonna do that for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, so we might just be wrong on this one as well.
Yeah, and who knows what the plot of that shit is. It's
yeah,
wacky. Okay, anyways, ones I'm excited for, just moving on down. Spider-Man, yes, very excited because I've been really enjoying Tom Holland in that role.
Okay.
And honestly, just that whole cast.
I saw a poster that had all the Spider-Mans. Well, sort of. Most of them.
That's because there was a rumor that it was going to be an Into the Spider-Verse thing because of Multiverse of Madness.
Okay.
I doubt it.
Okay, so
unless the all of Phase 4 is about alternate realities, which I suppose it could be, but most of their stuff ties into really specific runs, and I don't know one that's all about this. I don't know. I don't buy it.
Fair enough.
But I don't buy it. I think it's just going to be about its own thing.
Do we have any details?
No.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
That's why I don't buy it. Like, I think people heard rumors that Tobey Maguire had been tapped to play his version of Spider-Man in this movie. I don't know if that was ever confirmed or not.
And also having the same actor that played Jonah Jameson in the other movies, right? That was
fueled some of
these.
But because Doctor Strange is the multiverse of madness, and how much they're like talking about that, and WandaVision was our lead into that, with Spider-Man coming out before it, do you not spoil your multiverse of madness if Spider-Man deals with a multiverse already?
Not necessarily, right? Because what they can do is they can strand Spider-Man in that movie and have him be found...
You're going off on a very specific to justify a big like you're saying it'll work if they do this one thing. What are the fucking chances that they land on this one thing?
I'm trying to read their mind because of other setups that they've done, and because of the name No Way Home, right? Like you accidentally throw Spider-Man into the multiverse, and you do the big thing at the end of his movie where he's just stranded. And I would like to put a pin in this for when these movies do come out, just in case I'm right. I'd like to say I told you so.
The titles of the Spider-Man movies so far have not been hinted at in that way. Homecoming was sort of a double entendre. It was because Spider-Man was back at Marvel, but also it took place. The big set piece was outside the homecoming dance.
Yep.
Far From Home, literally the character was far from home. So to do the last one was like, yeah, we end it with this tag where the ending now. It's not how they've been doing it. Again, it could be. It all could be. It just, I'm not buying it.
So how do you feel about Moon Knight then?
Jumping way down the line.
No. I was just changing the subject randomly because I felt like we were getting nowhere with that.
Fair enough. So excited for Doctor Strange. Excited for Thor. Really excited for Thor. I really like Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Curious to see what they do with Wakanda Forever. Really liked Black Panther. Chadwick Boseman. Sorry. Chadwick Boseman really brought a lot to the character now.
Okay.
And it sucks that he just had to do such a short run right off the bat of success of it, you know?
Yeah.
I'm glad they're not going to recast him, but I also think that makes this a really hard movie. Like, is it now just an ensemble about various figures throughout Wakanda? Are we never going to do a new Black Panther?
Honestly, I'm willing to bet that the rumor that one of the other cast members is going to take up the mantle is true.
But you think that's like the big ending, like somebody's got to earn it?
Maybe maybe that's what it is, or maybe it shows the I don't know. It could be it's tough because like if I were to get into my like guessing game, they would probably make it a Black Panther that is way less sure of himself, because even though was it Chadwick
Boseman?
Sorry, I'm completely losing it. Even though he was making his way up, he was still pretty confident. He'd been groomed for that job his entire life, right? So I feel like if they do this one, it'll be a very young.
Are you using the actor's name in place of the character's name?
No. I'm using it because honestly, I feel that he didn't get enough credit. Because of everything that happened, so I'd like to say his name more.
All right, fair.
Yeah, but so anyways, long story short, I think that what they will do is that the next character that they're gonna make, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Queen of Wakanda, and I feel like it will really showcase that character not being prepared, but really coming through in the end. So I think that the end isn't them becoming the Black Panther. I think the end is them just basically validating their appointment as the Black Panther. That would be my guess.
They have flat out said that this movie is not going to recast Black Panther.
Okay, but is that play on words? They're not going to recast, like there isn't going to be another that character Black Panther? Or because Black Panther.
Okay, so you're going to be pedantic and ask me for an exact quote on the wording they use?
No, because look, Black Panther is a mantle. I see the Black Panther mantle passing where they're not going to recast the King of Wakanda.
In December, Marvel Studios announced they wouldn't recast the role of Chadwick Boseman's King T'Challa for the upcoming sequel out of respect to Boseman's memory now.
Exactly.
Black Panther fans are asking the studio to do the opposite to honor the late actor's heroic legacy.
So what I think is that no, they will not recast Chadwick Boseman, but what they will do is that the mantle will pass on to probably his sister, is what I'm thinking. I could be wrong.
The Black Panther sequel will be focusing on other characters from the first film and further develop the world of Wakanda.
Okay, so they're just like... is this going to be a Weekend at Bernie's where they do a couple flashes, but it's not really about Bernie?
Well, that's why I'm thinking this had its name change from Black Panther 2 to Black Panther Wakanda Forever. This is going to be about M'Buku and Shuri, and I can never remember the bald chick's name. But it's going to be about all of the peripheral characters. By the way, she was a motherfucking
badass in those movies.
She was a badass in those movies. But it's going to be about them coming together to defend Wakanda from something, I'm willing to bet.
Okay, fair enough. I actually kind of hope you're right, because I wasn't happy where my head was going on that.
Yeah. All right, we had other stuff. Hit me with
We do
some
have some other
not
stuff.
this.
Okay, let's talk about something that I finally got around to. Nowhere near as bad as the Justice League Snyder Cut, but Mortal Kombat 2021. You have to say 2021 because if you look this up on the fucking internet, it is not going to come up.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So I
rating
had
up
already
front.
talked about this brief. Oh, not brief. I had already talked about this on Bias Bros. So I want to lead up front, just like overarching, like lead. What's your general feeling on it? Good, bad, indifferent? 2 thumbs up? Made your penis hard? Hated it? Gave you the shits?
Okay, so up front, better than anything before in the sense of film.
Yeah.
I think this is the best version of Mortal Kombat we've seen on film.
Yeah.
Okay. I will say, and there will be some spoilers, and I know that we have a particular person in the audience that hasn't been able to see it. Let's talk afterwards on Discord. We'll get that to you. Anyways, long story short, I liked it. I'd actually give it a 4 out of 5 if I'd had to rate it.
I also really liked it.
Okay, cool. I'm glad we're on the same page about this. I had some
I
problems.
was shocked that the internet hated it as much as they did.
So
it's far from perfect. Don't get me wrong.
I've been doing a media blackout. I have.
Oh, people hate it.
I have no idea what the internet has said. So please, let's talk about that because I know, unless you already talked about it on Bias Bros, but like
a bit.
What the hell?
We've talked less about the public reaction.
Okay, what the hell is the internet saying about this? Because again, I went la 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 because I wanted to see it.
You have the super hardcores who were like, they butchered lore, and I'm like, look, as a Mortal Kombat casual, but as like familiar with lore, they hit the broad strokes.
Well, and not even that. Like, there have been some straight up retcons in the games.
Yeah,
and they've even done a couple games where like they do the cross out.
Yeah. So yeah, no, like it hit the broad strokes. It told the story enough. It was fine. It worked. The other complaint, and this is legit, though I think they're more angry about it than they should be on the internet. A lot of people are like, look, the plot's really dumb. And I'm like, you know what? Granted, you're not wrong. The plot's really dumb.
So that's the reason it loses a point. The only reason it loses a point is because the writing felt like a TV show writing.
Yeah, it was just a little simple. I mean, the character literally grows plot armor.
Yeah, exactly. And I was kind of bummed out. Like, a lot of people, I thought, I obviously haven't seen it, but I thought a lot of people might have been pissed because of the new character, because it's brand new. Like, why introduce this new thing?
Yeah, I didn't really get it, and honestly, I think they gave him a good enough out to not use him in the second movie and just not do that.
Yeah, for sure.
We've already brought, we Mary sued him. We brought the audience in. We were able to, well, look, this is me in the film, or whatever people try and relate to like idiots. We did that. Now we don't ever need to do it again.
Yeah, that's fair. And I feel like, so I don't want to do a full reveal, because Jesus, it's hard not spoiling things on this one, right? Because of stuff and the characters. But
sure,
I will say I do like I like the fights. The fights were fantastic.
The fights were great.
Like, look, all those haters, go back and watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation, or go back.
Annihilation's real bad.
Real bad. I love it. It's got a special place in my heart. But the fights were worse than the first one. At least in the first one, some of the fights I was like, oh, they actually look like they're hitting each other. But in Annihilation, not at all. I will say my favorite fight in this one has to be the Sub-Zero Scorpion fight.
At the end or at the beginning?
At the end.
Oh, really? I like the one at the beginning. There was a dick punch and it brought me joy.
So the only reason the one at the end works is because in the beginning it was, they were still setting everything up, so you didn't get to see a lot of the powers.
Right.
And it's really cool to see the powers, because the fight in the beginning was just a ninja movie, and then the fight at the end was Mortal Kombat, right?
It was. I still really like it, even though it was just a ninja movie. It was dope.
All of the fights I thought were fantastic. I was a little bit put off by just how obvious some of the twists were.
Mm-hmm.
That was like I said, honestly, my biggest problem was the writing was it legitimately felt like it was a TV show that they made this for, right? I feel like the writers needed to step it up.
So I totally would have watched it as like a long-running HBO Game of Thrones-esque TV show.
Oh, for
that
sure.
would have been dope.
That would have been fantastic. Here we go, talk about the setup. But you do the setup where different episodes are them finding different characters or seeking out the different characters and things like that. And you do the overarching plot of like, you know, the other world coming over, trying to take over before the tournament. That's the same thing that happened in the other movies, so it's not a spoiler. But it would have just added a little bit more time for the characters to develop and really show off what they could do. I felt that it was really rushed at the end.
Yeah.
That was kind of my problem. I will say that the mechanic on how they figured out how to show the different settings was fantastic. I thought that was hilarious. I actually laughed out loud at that. Come on, folks, there's got to be a sequel.
So the guy who plays Sub-Zero already announced that he has a 4-picture deal for these.
Correct. So I'm kind of hoping that, they go through with it, because you know how that shit can get canceled real quick. It's WB, homie. They like to be like, you sneeze too hard and they pull the plug.
Yeah. So one of the other big complaints from the internet, and this one I will actually flat out disagree with. People said that the plot was really inconsistent. Okay. I would argue that there is a fairly firm amount of consistency. And this is going to be spoiler for the audience. I apologize, but I kind of can't discuss that. A minor spoiler. But basically, the movie does not feature a lot of in-tournament fighting. It is all outside of tournament fighting. And one of the big complaints online was like, oh, you know, they say that like they have to win this Mortal Kombat, but then like they break all these rules. There's not supposed to be out of tournament fights or whatever. They flat out say, well, the gods are really lazy and just aren't enforcing any of the rules. That's why rules are being broken.
Not even that. Shang Tsung specifically says, and I quote, conflicts outside of the tournament are not forbidden.
Oh, yeah.
Where he was, and Raiden didn't disagree, where he was... the thing about the gods being lazy was because Raiden was hinting that he was only doing it to affect the tournament. And that's when Shang Tsung was like, yeah, whatever, they don't give a fuck anyways. It's not like they're gonna come in and nitpick about these rules.
But like that's my big like, you know, anything with the plot where you're like, you said this. Doesn't matter what they said. They also just said that nobody who's running the shit gives a shit.
I will say that I think the plot was consistently meh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it was consistent.
Like, sure, they use some MacGuffin to get out of their own plot, but they put it in there. They clearly had the thought of, like, does this match up? Oh, you know what? The people who enforce rules don't give a shit. There you go. Rules don't matter.
I will say that the inconsistency really lied on the pacing. Like, it felt like it started off really strong. Like, that first fight was great. I'm not going to say not. It wasn't my favorite, but it was great. And then it was like, oh, hey, we don't really know how to do this, so we're going to throw a shit ton of exposition at you.
Yeah. Though, now that it's done, I'm really looking forward to a sequel.
Oh, for sure.
Because we did all the Mishigas. We can just move forward.
That's kind of it. And I actually had a conversation, because me and my wife saw this together. I had a conversation with her of how they would set up a sequel. So do you want me to talk about like what I think the plot will be for the sequel, or is that too spoilery?
If you'd like. I mean, if you'd like.
So if I were them, with that scene that they shot at the end, I would say that the next movie should, because with 4 movies, like even in the games, they get that tournament out of the way quick. Like, if I remember correctly, the only real tournament was in like maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think in 1.
Yeah, I think 1 was the only real tournament. The rest was just the Outer World or no shit. Now I'm getting them wrong. So no, not NetherRealm. Was it Otherworld? Is that the name of where Shang Tsung?
NetherRealm. Or
NetherRealm.
Outworld.
Outworld. That's what it is. Outworld.
NetherRealm is a studio who makes games.
Yeah. No, there is a NetherRealm. I think that's what they call their hell.
Oh, maybe, but yeah, no, it's Outworld.
Okay, so Outworld, they just get screwy, and then we gotta stop them. So I honestly think that the next one is they're gonna allow the introduction of more characters. They're gonna do very similar how they did in the original Mortal Kombat movie, where they
Time
would
jump.
not just time jump, but they'll go and see these characters, and that's how they bring them in. Like that's how their intros are gonna be. So they're gonna do that, and then it's actually gonna be the tournament for the next.
Yeah, I was actually kind of thinking the sequel would be more tournament based.
Yeah, because there was not one tournament fight in this at all.
No.
None whatsoever. And
Yeah.
I know folks were upset. I was definitely surprised. But okay, now that we've talked about what we don't like, you know what I did like?
What did you like?
The fatalities.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
A couple of them were like super goofy, but there was no way to not do it goofy, and it just worked.
because even in the games, like until maybe which one's the one where they finally had X-Ray? Was that 10? Mortal Kombat X? But anyways, yeah. I actually bought Mortal Kombat X, and my brother played it more than I did. Anyways, long story short, the fatalities were fantastic. I thought it was super fun. Definitely made it a little bit campier, right? But I was okay with it. I'd still the point that is lost is really just the writing was a little flat. Even the dialogue was a little flat. But
Yeah.
But yeah. What was your favorite thing about the movie?
I liked the little nods to things. Like there's a part where somebody makes a ridiculous leap over something, and they were 100% mimicking the jumping and the way the jumping looked in the first game. But there were lots of little tiny nods to like specific things like that that were just done so lovingly. It was great.
Okay, so that's your favorite thing.
Yeah.
Favorite character.
I mean, Kano kind of stole the movie, did he not?
Right? Okay,
Kano stole the whole film.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one. I now want to see that dude in other things.
Yeah. No, he nailed it.
And the writing, that was the only piece that redeemed the writing. Like his dialogue was hilarious. There were a couple good digs from Sonya, but I don't know, man. I just wish that, and it's not a problem with just this movie, but I just wish Sonya would be a badass by being a badass, not about talking about being a badass. You know what I mean? Or other characters talking about her being a badass.
Yeah. And her whole arc goes from 0 to 100, like, pretty instantly.
Yeah, it just... I understand what they were going about, and I actually called it. I called it when they mentioned how Liu Kang got his powers. And then I was like, okay, yeah, great. Now that they mentioned that Sonya doesn't have any, here you go.
Yeah.
But I understand why they did that. I just wish they wouldn't have done it in this movie. Because technically Sonya didn't have any powers until like, what, game 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Like,
and I think they have a great avenue to bring in Stryker for the next movie.
Oh, for sure. I'm looking forward to some of these versions of some of the other characters.
Yeah,
right?
I love that Cabal was always one of my favorites. I love that they brought him in.
I like that they brought him in, and I like that. So they changed his background a little bit depending on which game you're looking at, but I like that they gave him like legitimate powers.
Yeah,
like super into this, because that was another thing that first movie had. They kind of touched on some of the powers, but not really. I like that they fully just embraced them in this one.
Yeah, except for the bestiality.
Yeah, but to be fair, you know, we'll get there.
Yeah, it was already done poorly once. They had to do something else.
There's time. Oh my god, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Thanks for reminding me. I will say that the most ridiculous
animality, that's what it's called, not bestiality.
Yeah,
animality.
That was too close to a thing you could go to jail for.
And that's why I knew it wasn't that one thing.
Well, you said it, and I was like, what's the right thing?
I said bestiality, I never added the extra syllable.
No, and did you realize that I didn't correct you?
I did.
Yes, animality. I'm sure they went through the same kind of thing when they were writing for that.
Fair.
Um, how do you think they're gonna include babalities?
They won't.
I'm pretty sure in this
Just like they're not
code,
going to end with a friendship.
they might be able to turn another character over. I don't know, man. It's Mortal Kombat. Anything's expected. I know we talked about that last week, but there's all kinds of lore that
Yeah.
does not get explored, and it's great. But okay, so 4 out of 5, solid, almost 4.5, but solid 4. Like I want to see more, and I would buy merchandise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
All right, so there's a thing that I saw on the internet recently that may be completely untrue, but it still kind of annoyed me, and it's gonna bring us right back to our Star Wars conversation.
Oh, here we go.
But so I'm gonna flash it on the screen. It's been publicly available. Don't sue us. Whoops, that one. So it's Star Wars. This is an excerpt from the Vader comic book. I believe it's issue 11 to be specific. And they talk about how, Vader knew about the clones. Vader knew about Snoke and all that stuff. I'm not going to go into the whole comic, but he's in the Scalpel of Creation, which the article very accurately made fun of the name. I'm all for it. Making fun of the name, I mean. And then they show a hand in a vat. And the article is hinting that that's Luke Skywalker's hand, and that this is the big revelation that Snoke was just a giant set of clones of Luke Skywalker.
Here's what I would argue. We already know in canon that Mustafar was gifted to Vader as a research facility, both because of its very, very powerful tie to the dark side and because of its very secluded is it still geography, like, you know what I mean, like secluded area of the star map,
the galaxy.
What he was doing there was working on cloning technology to remake Padme.
Okay, fair enough.
So him getting a hold of his son's hand that he just chopped off and bringing it to Mustafar to do something with his genes actually totally works, fits the timeline. Snoke being a Luke clone, I kind of doubt, because they also flat out say that they were cloning the Emperor. I think it's more likely that Snoke is a clone of the Emperor. It's a Sheev Palpatine clone, not a Luke Skywalker clone. But especially, like, look at these panels. The things in the background look Snoke-ish, and he, like, just barely got this hand or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
This is fine for me. It's fine.
I'm only upset if it actually ends up being a clone of Luke. That'd be the only way I'd be upset. I'm just like,
me.
It just seems like so fucking dumb. It feels like they're just trying to, like, change a bunch of shit about the character for no goddamn reason.
There is a reason. It's because the character didn't go over well and they didn't plan well enough. Really, all they have to do is confirm that Snoke is a being from outside space that they picked up at a dark side temple from the uncharted space that the Empire fled into post the fall. But, they're not good at planning stuff and have to do this shit instead.
It just seems so fucking.
This is why they're giving it to Favreau. Favreau's the new Feige.
Is he going to be taking over even the other stuff, or is Kennedy out for reals now?
Favreau and Fellini are taking over. Kennedy is out.
Oh, when was that announced?
Because I talked about it.
Well, that was rumored. I didn't know if it's been made official. I was going to throw a party.
Kathleen Kennedy stepping down. Okay, still claimed, but it's
okay. Cool. I just want to make sure that I had completely not. I was almost incommunicado this weekend because I had family over, and you know how that goes. But yeah. Anyways, no, actually, I had a blast. I'm just talking shit. We went on a boat, but yeah. If Kathleen Kennedy's out, I will throw probably some sort of virtual party where we play video games, classic Star Wars video games. Maybe I'll stream it. Yeah, I just don't like the direction that it went. I honestly, I don't know any of her previous work, what she's produced, or any of that stuff. But I will say that ever since she took the helm, I felt like, at least movies-wise, they just didn't do well. Although, I guess that's kind of not her fault, too, because Force Awakens wasn't bad. I actually enjoy that one. It's just the other two, especially Jesus, Last Jedi. It's the worst. But you know what? Hopeful. Favreau should take over. Let us see what he can do with it. He's done such a great job with The Mandalorian. I've got, minor like film complaints here and there. Like the dude, for someone who never takes his mask off, that dude takes his mask off so much. I understand that there was some sort of component in the background where the actor had complained, and I understand you want to be an actor, you want to get credit for what you're doing, but if the character doesn't take his mask off, don't take his mask off. Key witness, Judge Dredd by Keith Urban. He played the character, did a fantastic job of putting his ego aside to not show his face. So I feel like the actor in The Mandalorian could have not showed his face and been done with it. Just, I don't know. I'm saying it can be done, and I still think Keith Urban's a badass.
I think you got the wrong guy.
Am I saying this again? Am I talking about the country singer again? I am.
Yeah, Keith Urban is the Australian singer.
Carl Urban?
Yep.
Carl Urban. My bad. I've been saying Keith Urban this whole time. Carl Urban. They both start with a K, goddammit.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, but nope.
Yeah. Fair enough. Carl Urban, Judge Dredd, just insert that into everything I just said. Homie never takes his fucking mask off, and it's fantastic. Actor of The Mandalorian could do that as well. But yeah, no, I was just saying Favreau. I'm all on board.
Yeah.
Let him take over. Although I feel like Feige taking... Yeah, no. Okay, fair enough. Straight thoughts.
He hasn't done poorly for the MCU.
No, that's true. That's true. He did fantastic. I was thinking... DC. I realized...
Oh, yeah. Jeff Johns, not...
I felt bad because he was doing really well for DC, like the comics, and then the films happened, and I have no idea.
Yeah.
So if this is canon, I don't care if the cloning thing is canon. Like, it's fine. They already fucked that whole thing up. I like your idea, but it could be anything.
Sure.
Just fucking.
But and like we were talking about offline, they've already retconned new continuity that they've made. Really, unless it's in the movies, they don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's true.
This stuff can do whatever the fuck it wants.
Because unless it's on film, I believe, whether it's movies or TV, I think is how it's working right now. But, it's okay. Well, it's not okay. I will. What am I gonna do? Fight them? If they won't let me in the door,
I'm gonna make an angry phone call.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like every other nerd on the internet and complain about it. I'm gonna
send death threats to the writer.
No, that's not that. I'm not that type. All right, there was another thing though that I wanted you to talk about. Completely changing the subject because it's Pokemon and I'm excited about almost anything Pokemon. So, what have you been up to? Tell us.
I've been playing the unfortunately named new Pokemon Snap. And can we just get out of the way how bad it's not called Pokemon Snap 2. It's not called Pokemon Snap Redux. It's not called Pokemon Snap A New Adventure. It's called New Pokemon Snap. As if there were many, even. It's really just this one and the last Pokemon Snap.
Yeah. It just... Look, the name invokes a just kind of the same thing the other Pokemon games invoke, where it's like, just shut up, it's got the little creatures, you'll love it.
Look, as a fan of the first game, this is really good. That's all it's really, they didn't do a giant overhaul. They didn't give it some crazy new mechanic. It's essentially the exact same setup with new islands, new Pokemon, and a couple of different gadgets and like, minor mechanic changes.
Yeah, that's
Better graphics. Like it's great. I'm
uh,
I'm like truly legitimately I'm having a blast with it.
okay. So the original was known for the puzzles, which was
Yeah.
the reason that I liked it. Uh, are they still fun? Are they still creative? Like so far, how you feeling on that?
So it's pretty divided between challenges and just so the setup is different only in the amount of stuff you have.
Okay.
Most locations have a day and a night course.
Okay.
So it's the same path just with different Pokemons and different puzzles.
Okay.
And then each course, day and night separately, have a level. And as you get high enough score pictures on one course, you get a new level of the course. And again, it's the same path, but the Pokemon have moved. They call it, they're more comfortable with you. So some of them are laying in the path, or they're getting closer to
Okay.
you, or they've fucked off, or they've
I
evolved.
understand what they're doing. Depending on how they pull it off, that might annoy the dick out of me.
What would annoy you?
They're stretching the. It's basically like how the Destiny developers do it, where it's the same goddamn level, but they're just making you go back through it like backwards or some
No,
shit.
no, no, no. So again, because this game is on rails, there is no like it's an on rail game
Yeah,
already.
which means
No more shoehorning and pigeonholing they can do, but it's not literally that the day and the night. It's the same stuff with a different skin on it. It is truly a different experience going through it
okay.
in the day, isn't it? Like they come from different, it's different Pokemon coming from different angles, doing different things, and different. There's even one spot, like I guess a minor
Spoiler.
minor. There's one spot where to get to an area, you have to make a Pokemon leave what it's sitting on. But in the day and the night cycle, you use a completely different method to make it leave.
But you still have to make it leave, and that's kind of annoying.
But so there are now split paths,
Okay.
and that's one time for one split path. So even the same level, you have to do twice, once to go left, once to go right, kind of thing.
Okay.
That's the only level so far, at least as far as I am, where you need to like consistently do the same mechanic to get this dude to bounce.
Okay. Okay. Fair
So,
enough.
so the daytime cycle, an Apom comes swinging by on a vine. The nighttime cycle, there are no Apom and nothing swings across a vine.
Okay, so it's different enough. Um, what are you not liking about it?
The
It took them a while, so
the
that's
the scores are pretty brutal that you have to get.
okay. So it's hard.
It's pretty fucking hard. And there's a few puzzles that I'm just not getting, I guess. Like I keep waiting for another item to show up, and now I'm at the point where I don't think another item is going to show up. So clearly I'm just doing something wrong and not getting it.
Okay,
Oh,
fair
what I was saying
enough.
before though, and I didn't get to finish. So that's how you do the courses, but there is another way to play, which is more puzzle oriented. It's called challenges, and so a person will reach out and go, a person, big air quotes, a fucking NPC computer person, but a
Hey,
person will reach out
they
and go
have
like,
feelings too.
they'll go, hey, there's something in this area, or there's a way to make this Pokemon do something. Go figure that out. And then you have to get a picture of that Pokemon doing that thing or getting the thing that's in this
And
hole
that
to
was
come
just part
out.
of the normal run through in the last game.
No, it's just kind of what you had to do to get a good picture. Nobody specifically requested
That's
that you
true.
solve those
That's true.
puzzles. You just had to do that to get a halfway decent picture of anything. Whereas in this one, um, it's sort of separate, and it seems to only pay out in cosmetic stuff.
Oh, that's terrible because you're like, I just need points.
There's one level where like I was seriously struggling. Like I need 2,000 points, and I did like 3 runs and got like 10 points, 5 points. And I'm like, I need 2,000. And it was coming off of like 50,000. I had already whittled it down to two.
Wow. Okay. And so are the points across the entire level? Like you have to get so many before the next level
So
unlocks?
now the pictures are slightly different too. There's one, two, three, 4-star pictures.
Mhm.
And then each picture can have a bronze, silver, gold, or diamond rating. And then based on the stars of the picture and the rating is how many points you get. And so technically to complete the decks in this, it's not good enough to get one picture of a Pikachu. You have to get a 1-star picture, a 2-star picture, a 3-star picture, and a 4-star picture. But that works across all maps. So say a Pikachu appears in more than one map, you can get a 1-star on one, a 2-star on another.
Okay. But are the points cumulative per level or?
Yes.
Okay. So
Well, it's cumulative for your best pictures. So if you take a Pikachu picture and it's really good, and then you take a Pikachu picture and it's not as good as that first one, it's not going to add those points to your total. It is the total of your best pictures from that day or night cycle of that level.
okay. Fair enough. What I was thinking initially when you were talking was that it was like, hey, for the wood level, you have to score 200,000 points, whether you score them in day or night or whatever.
No, day and
So,
night are separate cycles.
okay, now question for the points: do you for the wood level? Is it both day and night are unlocked and you can do them whenever, or do you have to pass day to get access to night?
That's a little fucky depending on the level. That it's more unlocked through story stuff.
Okay, fair
And
enough.
story stuff seems to be hitting a good equivalent of enough levels in other levels.
Okay, perfect. I was just trying to see. I'm like, how do they gamify this son of a bitch?
Yeah.
But it sounds like you're having a blast. You had to hesitate when I asked you something you don't like.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
it's a pretty simple raw experience, you know? It's bug snacks on rails basically.
bug sacks, except you don't eat them and become horrifying things.
Yet. The game's not done.
That's true. Did you
I
finish
did
bug snacks?
I did. I 100%ed bug
Oh
snacks.
wow, what's the big payoff at the end?
I actually will say it kind of weirdly out of left field. It goes very John Carpenter's The Thing in like the last 5 minutes of Bug Snacks, and then they escape the island.
Interesting. Do
But
they
no,
all?
like legitimately, it goes like John Carpenter's The Thing for a minute there.
Huh.
The ending is really kind of fucked up and dark out of nowhere.
Well, now I'm gonna have to look it up on Wikipedia.
Just play Bug Snacks. It's free.
I don't. I don't want to.
It's not bad.
I just.
Your wife would actually love it.
I'm sure she would, but she's busy with New Horizons.
Yeah, but she'd like watching you play it.
Oh yeah, but why would I? No, no, no.
Dude, I had a blast with Bug Snacks. Was shockingly fun.
I already have a litany of games that I'm trying to get through. I don't need to add another one. And as soon as the new Ratchet and Clank comes out, you've lost me. And by you, I mean
So
all the
we're
video games.
we're
You've
already
lost
out
me
of
for a while.
time. Name 2 games that you haven't started yet, and then play us out.
Oh, please.
I'm just like just throw the 2 big ones out there. What have you not even started?
Final Fantasy 10, or sorry, Final Fantasy 15. I haven't started, which I am intending to. Doom Eternal.
God, Doom Eternal is just unnecessary. I started it. I haven't finished it. Okay, play us out.
All right, check us out Mondays, 7 to 8 Pacific on In5D Podcast YouTube. Also check us out Tuesdays, twitch.tv/Metagame Network. We're there Tuesday nights, 7
Tuesday-
to 9
Oh yeah,
Pacific.
never mind.
Why are you yelling? Bias Bros every other Thursday.
No, I was thinking it was Wednesday for some reason.
It's actually
but I was
every
wrong.
Thursday now that they're recording live.
Every Thursday.
And that's where they do the Judd's List style
The
stuff.
Barry Judd list.
I was close. I am not close on this one. Yeah, that's kind of it. Final thoughts, Bonsai.
Barry Judd list. Bias Bros, Thursdays, 7 o'clock.
There you go. Did I not give the time? I'm that guy today.
You're that guy today.
Bye.
Bye.